talk today about stewardship. And first of all, what is stewardship? I looked it up, and Webster defines stewardship as the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. Our church leadership here at Trinity by the Sea has identified 7 areas of stewardship, and I'm going to talk about the area of money, which kind of makes sense because I'm a retired CPA and will soon be taking over as treasurer here at the church. And it's probably the first area that folks think about when they think of stewardship, our tithe or our pledge, and keeping that pledge up through the year. It's a very important part of the ongoing operations of the church. Just like any other entity or our home or our household, we have bills and salaries to pay, as well as the apportionment that the church pays to the diocese. We are stewards of our own finances. We select how we spend our money. Are we careful? Are we responsible? But also, as part of this wonderful church, are we good stewards of the church's money? And let me say, this church is a very, very generous church. In recent years, we've met all our financial obligations, which is really a remarkable thing in light of the hurricane and now the pandemic. This is also due to grants and generous outside donors as well. We've managed to complete the building of the day school and are looking ahead at exciting new building plans to continue the community outreach that we've been led by God to do. And speaking of community outreach, this year we've been able to assist around 100 families with over $45,000 in assistance through our Hope for Distance Marlins program, helping those with financial needs through this COVID-19 crisis. So next month, the vestry will be putting together Trinity by the Sea's 2021 budget. Please give prayerful thought to your pledge for next year. Let's continue to be generous. We're so looking forward to exciting things ahead.
When I think about creation and being a steward of God's creation, I think about this beautiful planet we call home. To be a steward of creation is to care for this gift and love and respect our island home. There are many ways to care for creation. You can pick up trash on the beach or pull weeds from your garden. You can build a sandcastle or plant a tree. You can take a minute to walk through a handcrafted labyrinth on the beach or watch the sunset. However you choose to be a steward of God's creation, remember, we were gifted one beautiful planet, and it's our job to handle it with care for our children and for our children's children.
Of the 7 areas of stewardship, I will talk about time. The Bishop Michael Curry said that Christ has no body but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks with compassion on the world. Yours are the feet with which he walks. Yours are the hands with which he blesses all the world. Time is the biggest blessing we have in this world. And I invite all of you to go out and be God's hands, God's feet, and God's voice, whether it be volunteering at the church or simply investing your time to love thy neighbors as thyself. By doing this, I know we can change the world.
Prayer is the area of stewardship that I'm going to talk about. Prayer to me means making time in my life to intentionally spend time with God and showing him how important my need to have a relationship with him is. My daily readings, my daily devotionals, and my daily prayer help me become a better steward of God each and every day.
I'm here to talk about the stewardship of health. And for me, that means healthy activities outside with friends and family. I enjoy skateboarding with my friends and family, surfing, and just fun outdoor activities. My wife likes to run, and other friends, and just outside and enjoying the time and activities and staying fit and healthy. Spiritual health as well. Spend time with your church and small groups. That's what it means to me.
Here are some thoughts about stewardship of relationship. And the first thing that I want to share is that relationships change. They are, maybe by their very nature, dynamic. And I think about who I was when I married Laura and who I am now, and who she was when we got married and who she is now. And we're very different people. And so part of our relationship has been learning to get to know the new person and encourage each other to continue to be on this journey. Now, that's a marriage relationship. There are friend relationships that I think of and tend to, and probably at the core of all of our life together is to think about our relationship with God. And I also think that relationship changes as well. From time to time, the way we imagined God changes. It needs to fall away, and it needs to be reborn so that we can mature as Christians. So when you think about your relationships and how to be a steward of the relationships you've been given, you might consider how they are changing and how to pay attention to those changes so that you can continue in these wonderful, loving relationships that God has set us in.
One of the 7 areas of stewardship is gifts. The word gifts can have different meanings and can be something like a gift or a present, or it can be an action. An action would be giving a gift or even receiving a gift. A gift from God is a power or ability bestowed naturally or supernaturally for the purpose of serving God. I got that off of Google. The Bible has many references to gifts, but one of the most common is in Corinthians 12:4, where it says, "There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord." And in Corinthians 14:1, Paul provides a list of spiritual gifts: wisdom, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, distinguishing between spirits, and even speaking in tongues. As gifts relate to stewardship, we should contemplate what are our gifts. What gifts has God given me? Or what gifts has God given you? And more importantly, how can I use these gifts to serve God, our church, and others? We are also talking of physical gifts and abilities. For some, it may mean we are creative, or strong, or a good listener. Or maybe we can be a good organizer, or a hostess, or a cook. Being creative is a gift, like baking or making art, playing music, or even singing. Some people have the gift of being good with facts and figures, like being the treasurer of ECW, or even the church's treasurer. This just names a few, but for me, gifts means giving. So I ask for us to think and pray about what gifts God has given us and how we can use them as a member of Trinity by the Sea to serve God and our church and our community.